Let's go ahead and move in here. The first thing I'd like to do is add some logging configs to log the SQL statements. This will help us out as we kind of see how the configurations work and also the SQL statements that are actually executed on the database. Very good for diagnostics and also as an academic exercise. And what I'll do here is I'll open up my application.properties file. I'll zoom in here for a second. And I'll add these logging configs here to log the SQL statements. So there's two configs that we need to add. I'll set the logging level of org.hibernate.sql to debug. So we're basically going to get some debug logs here. And also I'll set the logging level for org.hibernate.orm.jdbc.bind equals trace. This allows us to see the actual values that are being assigned for these statements. Let's go ahead and save this file. And let's go ahead and move over to our main application. I want to make some small modifications here in the app. Move down to this command line runner section. And I'll comment out the code for deleting all students. And then I'll uncomment the code for create multiple students. And this is the code that'll basically add 3 students to our database. Let's go ahead and run this application and test it out real quick. Notice here we have some new logging statements here for debug and trace. Just scrolling over here, we can see the actual insert statement and also the values that they'll insert. So this is for John Doe. And a similar insert here for Mary Public. And then finally, my favorite, Bonita Applebaum. And so we basically just added these configs here for logging that data. And let's just do a quick query here. And yes, we have the data. Now, one thing to notice here is that we have different IDs since we ran the app multiple times in the previous videos, right? We added some items, we deleted some items and all that good stuff. So that's why you see some slight differences here on the actual ID. Okay, what I'd like to do now is break the app on purpose. I actually want to drop the table for student such that it's no longer there. We no longer have the table, no longer have the data, and run our app and see what happens. I'll just zoom in over here and I'll grab this student table and then I'll drop the table. And I'll choose the option drop now. And now if I run my query again, then if you notice at the bottom, we have an error message. And it says table student does not exist. All right, so the table is dropped. It no longer exists. Even if we do a refresh over here on the left-hand side, we'll see that there are no tables right now. We only had one table, and that one table was student, and we dropped that table. Now let's go ahead and move back into our application. Let's run our application and see what happens. And it fails as expected, right? We have an exception. And it says table student tracker.student doesn't exist. We dropped our table. It no longer exists.